Welcome back. We are covering 20 key activities to guarantee successful employee onboarding. I will leave a link to the playlist that where you can go back and listen to all the videos prior as well in the description box below. And then also do me a favor while we're getting started here, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the alert button. We're on number 18 and 17 today, and this is also critical for day one details and even ahead of day one, right? Provide the day one details ahead of day one. This is something that you can do and should be proactive, right? If you're really truly committed to, and not only for your team, but your corporation, to retaining employees and making sure that they have a successful onboarding experience, this is something that you can do, and you should have a package ready for with all of this information ahead of time electronically, that once the decision's been made and the offer's been extended, even though you're working through the logistics with HR potentially, this is something that you can give them ahead of time. And so number one, that should be in under number 18, the badging, driver's license, any of the process stuff that's going to be needed for them to be processed with HR, right? That's very, very critical in terms of giving them that little checklist so that, there's not a delay in hiring, or they have to go back, home for that day, or they have to go back to HR, if they did miss something that wasn't, they weren't provided the information for what they need, right? Provide the address with parking instructions. This is also critical, especially if you're working in a large, urban area where parking is sparse, or maybe you have, validation of parking, and that's something that would have been nice to know, so they're not coming out of pocket. Or if they have to pay for parking, let them know what the local parking garages are charging, for a half day or whatever time they're going to be down there. This is important information to help make the ease of use for the new hire, and just a nice to know. Provide them a contact on day one, right? So if it's not going to be you, if they're just going directly to HR, then maybe you need to make sure that they know who they should ask for. If it's the receptionist or the admin that's there that's going to meet and greet them, or if they need to sit in a certain spot, but they should have a contact name there ready for them to go for day one. Also, what the normal working address is, if it's different than the HR address where they have to go. A lot of times you'll have campuses where HR will be located in one building, and then the actual building in which they'll be working, for the rest of the time is going to be different, right? So you want to make sure you differentiate both of those if there is a difference, right? Sometimes, a lot of times it's going to be in the same building, but sometimes not, depending on the size of the company. And then also provide the name of the contact person at the permanent address, right? It could be two different people at two different locations. You want to make sure you give them both if there are two different locations and two different people. Again, it's also a nice touch that if you're the hiring manager, to actually meet them at the door yourself, right? Unless you have obviously a pressing meeting that you have to attend, then take your number one star player on the team and have them meet them if possible. And then this is just another little nice to have, right? Provide a list of best places to grab lunch if working on campus, right? And I know we're in a much different environment right now based on everything that we're facing with our nation and the world, but assuming that we go back to normal in some capacity, this is just also a nice little thing to know if people aren't familiar necessarily with the area, or if there's a nice little, stomping spot where people like to go and grab a little bite at lunch that's reasonable, and, where people hang out. That's just a little list like that, or any other amenities that might, be good to know. Dry cleaning, and if you have to drop off dry cleaning while you're down there just because the family schedule doesn't allow you to do it based on the commute, there's all kinds of little things like that you can provide. Then the other thing that you need to do is provide, and if you first of all develop an onboarding checklist for the employee and the manager. You shouldn't just give the employee a checklist that they have to go through and parse through by themselves, right? It should be something that there should be some manager responsibilities typically that they have to make sure that they're taking care of, as well as the employee, right? The manager obviously can't take care of some e-learning and things like that, but the manager has to make sure that they have access. So develop that onboarding checklist for that employee, and it should also have manager tasks and responsibilities in there as well. So that's going to do it for number 18 and 17. And again, do me a favor, hit that record, hit the thumbs up, not the record button, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and hit the alert button, and pass this video along to anybody that you feel might benefit from this information. This is something that I'd greatly appreciate. And, again, we'll be talking to you for numbers 16 and 15 on the next video.